video, the new kid on the library shelves. It seemed that one moment we were directing patrons to the latest bestseller, and the next we were confronted by 20 people looking for the latest box office smash. And that was just a few years ago. Videomania has continued to swell to the point where today over 50% of American homes have at least one VCR. How popular is video? In 1985, over 1 billion books were checked out from public libraries. During that same year, an even larger number of video cassettes were rented from video stores. And video stores aren't the only source of videos. Many of our nation's libraries, both large and small, have already plugged into video.
One of my favorite stories about the use of videos in our library, and probably one that I think illustrates the need that videos fill. We have an elderly gentleman who comes in the library and checks out videos, and he cannot read and he cannot write. He is one of the most regular patrons we have. He comes in every 2 days and checks out 2 videos. He signs his first name on the card, and I sign his last name for him because he can't write his last name. And probably he would never have access to the information that he gets from the videos and the entertainment that he gets from them if the library didn't provide it for him.
I think a video cassette and what's on it, as far as educational purposes or as far as just learning purposes or even as entertainment purposes, is worth 1 million words, if not 2 million words.
Clearly, video has arrived, and with it has come a host of new questions for the librarian. Questions about selection, collection management, acquisitions, processing and display, circulation, public performance rights, and tape repair. This program will address those questions and provide a working blueprint for libraries who are ready to establish a circulating video collection. Where do you begin?
With your library board, it's imperative that you get their financial support and to set policies that will make video an integral part of the library service. Point out the number of VCRs in homes already and remind them that future video borrowers are taxpayers, many who will be using the library for the first time. Video presents a wonderful opportunity to attract whole segments of the population that the library has failed to reach in the past. And that's what libraries are all about, bringing service and information to the people, regardless of the medium. Video is a unique informational and cultural resource that belongs in your community.
We noticed that a lot of these people that came in to check out the videos did not have a library card. And in conversation with them, we learned that some of them had never ever been in the library before. Or if they had been, it was during the time that they were in school.
As video has brought many new patrons into the library, we've tried to find ways to cross-promote library services. One inexpensive method is to purchase mass-market paperbacks to display along with the videos. If we have the movie on video, we pick up a paperback edition of the book, too. We've let the book patrons know about our video collection by setting up signs and posters in the book aisles. When you're just starting out, you want to have as much information as possible, but you could use up half your budget buying all the video guidebooks on the market. So you have to be selective. It's also helpful to have several reference paperbacks on hand for patrons.
For feature film reviews, consult newspapers and consumer magazines. For reviews of special interest videos, check traditional library professional journals, such as Book List and Library Journal, as well as the newer specialized publications. General review sources should include a video encyclopedia of available titles and a guide to movies on video cassette. Once you've got your reference sources and reference books collected, how do you decide which titles to purchase?
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the videotape. There are at least 3 schools of thought on collection management when it comes to video. The first is the popular collection approach. In other words, you buy the best sellers. Then there's the only special interest strategy. The third is a combination of the first 2, a balance between theatrical films and special interest video. A good analogy here might be to look at the print collection. Public library print collections have more to offer than the grocery store checkout counter, but they're usually not as specialized as a university's holdings. Library video collections should offer the same balance.
The philosophy you adopt in managing your collection is up to you, but you should try to take advantage of the entire spectrum of programming available on video. There are plenty of excellent foreign and independently produced feature films and short subjects that don't get much exposure in theaters or on television and deserve a much wider audience. More often than not, these titles are not available in your local video store. Popular videos, like popular books, should have their place on the library shelves, but not to the exclusion of everything else.
Absolutely, the most popular video type is the children's videos in our collection. Next, we've been really surprised at how popular our operas and ballet and different cultural videos have proved to be. And of course, classic movies have been a big circulation item. We don't have any feature films at all, so the classics would be the closest to pure entertainment that we do have.
Since our first instigation of the videocassette collection, I have found that a good 99% of the librarians in the library system are in favor of the videocassette service. In fact, I find many of the librarians not only endorsing the collection, but using it in their day-to-day reference and subject searches.
Responsible collection management is going to be the #1 priority for tomorrow's video librarian.
For that reason, libraries need a strong material selection policy, which contains criteria both for selection of specific titles and overall collection development. It may be as simple as making sure your book selection policy covers videos as well.
A good material selection policy will help you build a balanced video collection.
Once you've laid the groundwork, you're ready to start ordering tapes. They basically fall into two categories: those which are for home use only, including most feature films and many of the popular instructional videos, and those which include public performance rights. When the Copyright Act was revised in 1976, no one could foresee the home video revolution. Libraries now have to cope with rules regarding video that they do not worry about with books or even 16mm films. Tapes designated for home use only cannot be used for library programs or shown outside the library to organized groups, such as church and youth groups. Public performance rights for these tapes must be purchased separately. On the other hand, most educational videos, such as the one you're watching, do include these rights. That's one reason you often pay more for this type of video. When you purchase videos, be sure to find out which rights are included.
There are 4 major sources for purchasing tapes. The first is wholesalers. Wholesalers supply video retailers with feature films and other popular programming at a substantial discount. Most titles are for home use only and cannot be previewed. Some of the large book wholesalers that libraries have traditionally patronized are currently offering videotapes. The second source is producers and distributors. Many documentaries, most educational materials, and much higher quality children's programming must be ordered direct from the producer or educational distributor. These titles generally carry public performance rights and are usually available for preview before purchasing. These companies tend to be the ones from which libraries have traditionally purchased 16mm films. Another option is the video retailer. Several companies have handpicked a number of home use only titles from a variety of sources and are offering them for sale at close to retail price to libraries through mail order catalogs. These titles generally do not include public performance rights, nor are they usually available for preview. Finally, you may want to buy some home use only videos from your local video store. You'll be paying retail price, but you also have the advantages of instant availability, and you'll be lending support to a local business. And sometimes they have a special sale. Whatever your source, don't be afraid to ask about special offers and discounts, especially if you buy multiple copies.
So, you've received your board's approval, set your policies, selected a couple of sources for purchase, and ordered your first batch of videos. What will you do with them when they arrive? How you process your videos will depend to a large degree on whether your library has a security system installed. If you're using a security system, you may be able to process your videos in a single box. Oops. A pass-around system is perfect, since the magnetic strips which trip the alarms are always activated and don't have to be desensitized or resensitized.
At this library, a security system is used, which requires that library materials be desensitized when they are checked out and resensitized when they are returned. Because the magnets in the system generate powerful electromagnetic fields, which will ruin the video image, a set of lower-grade magnet units is available to be used especially for video cassettes. A plus of a security system is that it allows you to catalog and interfile your nonfiction videos with your book collection. If you are concerned about disappearing cassettes and you don't have a security system, you might want to use a two-box system. In a two-box system, the box which holds the actual tape is kept in a secured area, and an empty dummy box is put on the shelf for display. Patrons then bring the dummy box to the checkout desk and exchange it for the actual video. Another method you might consider using is a notebook or file with annotated cards that patrons can browse through.
If you have the staff time, you should inspect each title you order, since it's often very difficult to return a defective tape after it's been processed. Sometimes the wrong program will be on the tape. Sometimes a defect will crop up 45 minutes into a movie. Occasionally, you'll even find questionable trailers on family-oriented films. When you're ready, just as you would property stamp a book with indelible ink to ensure that everyone knows it's library material, you must do the same with your videos. A simple pressure-sensitive adhesive label can provide the name and address of the library, but it won't protect your videos. Labels can be easily removed. You need to secure both the video cassette case and the tape itself. One reasonably effective means of achieving both ends is to order personalized labels to put on the side of the cassette. If the tape is returned with a label slit, there's a good chance that the original tape has been replaced. It's very easy for someone to make a copy of the original, keep the original, and put the copy into the library's video cassette case. Another method of protecting a video is to engrave your library's name on the back of the case, which would guarantee that the tape will be immediately recognizable as yours. In addition, you can place an indelible ink symbol down in the wells of both tape hubs, which would make tape swapping easy to detect.
And always be sure that the breakout tab has been removed. A surprising number of pre-recorded video cassettes arrive with the breakout tab intact. With many of today's VCRs featuring a one-touch record system, all it would take is a curious toddler to accidentally wipe out an entire program. Breaking out the tab will prevent these costly mishaps. Since the box or card will be on display for patrons, it should provide as much information as possible. Boxes which feature a full window display are helpful because they allow you to transfer the original cardboard or paper artwork more or less intact. You might also want to place a cautionary label about care and handling on videotape on the checkout box. The label would cause patrons not to leave videos in their automobiles and to keep them away from heat sources and objects which generate magnetic fields, such as stereo speakers. You can also include some library-specific information on the label, such as whether or not patrons may use the book drop for video returns. One small and inexpensive sticker is the bright yellow closed caption sticker. This highly visible cue allows hearing-impaired patrons to quickly determine which tapes they want to check out. Often the closed caption symbol on the manufacturer's box is hard to see or find. To help determine which tapes in your collection are closed captioned, you can write for a free listing from the National Captioning Institute. Circulation policies vary from library to library. Videos check out overnight, 2 or 3 days at a time, or in the case of instructional video cassettes, a week or longer. Multi-tape series may require special handling. There are at least 2 other sides to the circulation coin which have generated varying opinions in the library literature. One of them is, well, the coin itself. Should libraries charge for videos, or should they provide them for free? The fee versus free question is not a simple one, nor does it involve just video. The same question is being asked about the costly new service of online database searches. Some state legislatures have already provided the answer. In Rhode Island, for example, it is illegal to levy charges for library materials. Before making any decisions, find out what the laws are for your state. Also, take a look at the library literature on the subject. When you're fully informed on both sides of the question, then decide.
You will find that the video cassette has a tendency to circulate, or we find that the video cassette has a tendency to circulate 3.5 to 4 times to one circulation of a new popular book.
One last word about circulation. Since videotapes turn over quite quickly, it doesn't take a patron long to see most of a library's tapes. Regional library systems and libraries with branches have adopted a packet rotation system. A packet, which may consist of between 20 to 200 titles, are kept at a site for 1 to 2 months and then rotated on to the next library. In this way, the collection is kept fresh.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello, Cheryl.
Under normal wear and tear, the average video cassette will circulate between 200 and 300 times before it needs to be discarded or replaced. But a tape can be damaged the first time it checks out. Should you discard damaged tapes? The answer is no. Unless the damage occurs in the actual content of the program, most other videotape problems can be fixed. Armed with a good tape splicer, a set of special screwdrivers, and a ready supply of spare parts, you'll be able to make most tape repairs in 5 minutes or less and save a lot of precious budget dollars to boot. When a tape is absolutely on its last legs, salvage the spare parts before discarding it. You can make a video toolbox with compartments for springs, screws, protective flaps, and tape posts. Also, save the leader from discarded tapes. It comes in handy when you're splicing.
Another way to protect your videotapes is to store them correctly. That is, vertically, rewound, away from magnetic fields, and in a stable environment with temperatures not to exceed 50 to 75 degrees.
We hope we've covered the basics of starting up and maintaining a video collection in your library. As with most new ideas, current policies and practice with regard to video have been arrived at by trial and error, and most libraries have had to go it alone. One area where a unique support group has been formed is right here in Georgia, home of GLVA, the Georgia Library Video Association.
The home VCR was introduced to the American public in 1977, and today it is a standard piece of household equipment. This trend in communication and information has had tremendous impact on libraries. The Georgia Library Video Association was established in 1978. Its purpose was, and is, to help public libraries integrate video into their service programs. We share information, experiences, and conduct workshops. By pooling our resources and abilities, we have progressed from apprehension to excitement as we consider video and its place in public libraries.
Video is here to stay, and we as librarians need to work together to make it an integral rather than an incidental part of library services. It's been a decade since the first videotapes hit the market. Today, over 50,000 educational, instructional, and entertainment titles are available. Isn't it time we gave some of them a home on our library shelves?